Last time I discussed a bit about literary genres of English literature. Today I am going to add a bit more. First, I will talk about comedy. Comedy actually began in ancient Greece. We have William Shakespeare, we have Ben Jonson. William Shakespeare wrote romantic comedies, Ben Jonson wrote classical comedies. When it comes to romantic comedies, I can say uh, when you talk about As You Like It or Midsummer Night's Dream, they are romantic comedies. But the question arises which was the first comedy that was written? Actually, that was written by Nicholas Udall, and its name was Ralph Roister. It was written in 1533. So that was the first comedy. After that, we have Ben Jonson's comedies, which we have like Comedy of Humors. He has two very famous comedies, Comedy of Humors. Every man in his humor, every man out of his humor. They are called comedy of humors. Why? Because they say if elements like sadness, cheerfulness, ill temper, calmness, these things are not in balance and are in excess, then a person becomes humorous. If you are too much melancholic, you become humorous. If you are too much ill tempered, you become humorous. Too much calm, again humorous. Too much cheerful, again humorous. If anything is in excess, that becomes a source for comedy of humors. And this is what Ben Jonson used for his comedies. Every man in his humor, every man in his humor, and every man out of his humor. This I know. I told you. Now, further we can go for comedy of manners. Yes, comedy of manners actually, it was restoration period after 1660. In England, we have restoration comedy, and restoration comedy also is known as comedy of manners. This was the time period actually when people's behavior got changed. They started working, behaving in a very luxurious and indecent manner. There was need for comedy of manners. Just keep in mind this was 1660 around. This was Ramesh restoration period, and that is why comedy of manners is also called restoration comedy. If we talk about restoration comedies, All for Love by William Congreve, The Way of the World by William Congreve, All for Love by Dryden actually. Okay, All for Love by Dryden, Love for Love by William Congreve. All for Love by Dryden, Love for Love by William Congreve, The Way of the World by William Congreve. These are the famous comedy of manners. Again, I'm saying why manners? Because the manners of the people had got changed. They had become indecent, especially after 1660 when it was restoration period. Yeah. So that is what comedy of manners. So now we have studied comedy. What is comedy? Actually, comedy where we have some fun, a kind of entertainment, ending a spine. That is why it is comedy. Humorous, as far as comedy of humor is concerned, comedy of manners to correct people's manners by mocking them, especially which was written after 1660, like Love for Love by Congreve, All for Love by Dryden, The Way of the World again by Congreve. So comedy is done. Now we go for tragedy. Tragedy is where something tragic happens. The hero actually suffers a lot. Ending normally is sad. Hero dies or suffers badly. Tragedies, Aristotle talks about catharsis. When you see tragedies, you go through catharsis because you cry. And normally, what happens, especially in tragedies like William Shakespeare's Hamlet, King Lear, our protagonists suffer very badly. And when you find such people suffering, which are very noble characters, which are very kings and princes, prince, if they suffer, then common people think it's fine with them sometimes also. It's fate sometimes, which is beyond your control. So catharsis takes place after watching tragedies. Earlier tragedies used to be far more famous. Even in the movies, we know tragedies used to be famous because people used to shed tears and they used to be feeling relaxed because of the catharsis that used to take place. So now, why is this catharsis taking place? Why is this catharsis? Because of the events which take place? Why the tragic end is there? What is the fault in the character? Why this happens? Is this fate or some fault in the character? It can be fate. Fate can be one reason. Fate means which is beyond our control. Another can be any, you know, uh, anything that can be working against you, any flaw in you. That called tragic flaw. Actually, we call character may have tragic flaw also. As in case of Hamlet, he was overthinking person, thinking too much, not acting. That is called tragic. In Macbeth, it was ambition. That was his tragic flaw. Yes. And in King Lear, he loved flattery much. That was his tragic flaw. So these characters who are noble characters, very strong characters, they suffer badly. We love all these characters, but they suffer badly. So this tragic flaw actually is called hamartia. Hamartia word we need to understand. Sometimes simply they ask what does it mean by hamartia. So hamartia is a tragic flaw that a person, a character, protagonist has. Catharsis I discussed. We shed tears, we feel relaxed. That is catharsis. Hamartia, the character's tragic flaw. Hamartia. Peripedia. Peripedia sometimes we call a peripecia, sometimes we call normally this is peripedia. 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 Simply. What is peripedia? When it comes to tragedy, catharsis, hamartia, anagnosis, and recognition and peripedia, these things, these words actually become important because these words actually are asked in the question papers. So now peripedia is a sudden change. You know, you are a happy guy, everything is going fine with you. Suddenly you get a news and everything is changed. This sudden change is called peripedia. Hamartia is tragic flaw that is there in the character. Peripedia is something which is actually sudden change, you can say, that takes place in the play. If suddenly something happens, you are a happy guy and suddenly you get the news your father was killed, as in Hamlet. That is was peripedia, sudden change. So that is how it works. Peripedia, I hope you got it. Catharsis, you got it. Hamartia, you got it. Peripedia, you got it. Catastrophe is also a word which is not that tough. Catastrophe is always the ending, the climax, the ending of the tragedy, the play. That is called catastrophe. What happens at the last? Hero dies, protagonist dies, suffers badly. That is called catastrophe. So I hope catastrophe you must have got it. Recognition is anagnosis is when the protagonist recognizes his problem. That is called anagnosis. Anagnosis. When a protagonist realizes what problem, what fault is, yeah, he has. So I hope you must have got it. We have certain other words like soliloquy that is there in Hamlet. It's full of soliloquies. Soliloquy means speaking aloud to yourself. Nobody else is there to interrupt or listen. It's soliloquy, talking to yourself aloud so that the audience can listen. Yes. So these words I think you must have got when it comes to tragedy. Now we have farce and masque. Farce is actually a crude form of comedy. Crude form of comedy is called farce. We have Dr. Faustus, Arms the Man, Midsummer's Nights. These are the farce. Masque is actually Mask you understand that you are having a mask on your face. This used to be for the celebration purpose. When the word comes farce, it's a crude form of comedy that I told you, like Dr. Faustus, arms of the man. But when it comes to mask you means it's actually written for celebration. Just keeping the characters are actually having masks there in the kind of play that there is being performed or there is actually happening. That is called masking. Yes, we have Masque of Queens by Ben Jonson, Masque of Christmas by Ben Jonson. Tempest is a masque that is by William Shakespeare. Yeah. Now we go for dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue is very famous term. Dramatic because there is some action. Monologue means mono means one person, log means speech. One person is speaking, others are just silent. Others may be present there, but they remain silent throughout, and one person keeps on speaking. Yes, that is dramatic monologue. For example, we have Alfred Lord Tennyson. Robert Browning is very famous for dramatic monologues. My Last Duchess, Filippo Lippi, these are dramatic monologues. And when it comes to Tennyson, Lady of Shalott, that is dramatic monologue. So I hope you must have got these things. Now, if you go further, we have problem play. Problem play is also called social realism based play, actually, which is dealing with the problems of the society. Man and Superman, Arms of the Man, Silver Box. These are the names of the problem plays. Problem plays, which who began this question can be asked. Henrik Ibsen of Norway. Henrik Ibsen of Norway actually began problem plays. So I'm repeating this. Henrik Ibsen of Norway began problem plays, and we have Man and Superman, Arms of the Man by G.B. Shaw. So I hope you got it. Now the another one comes prose, which is written in a prosaic manner. Yeah, we have biography. There are so many biographies which are there, like Life of Samuel Johnson by James Boswell, Biographia Literaria by S.T. Coleridge, Life of Dickens by E.M. Forster, Life of Byron by Thomas More. When it comes to autobiographies, when you talk about your own um, life, that is autobiography. Essay, we know. Novel, again we know. It's a fictitious prose narrative of lengthy plot. Novels, we have not many novels. Gothic novels, which is ghost horror, Gothic novels. Epistolary novels, which is in the form of letters. Epistle means letters. Epistolary novels deals with the story in the form of letters. Picaresque novels dealing with the picaresque people means ruffians. Domestic novels, day-to-day life. Psychological novels dealing with the psychological state of a people, modern people especially. I hope you must have got all these forms of novels. We have so many novels, and I think that's easy for you to understand, and I can discuss again also. Then we have short stories, which has short story, a plot, short story, length is short. So I hope you must have got the genres brief about these things. I will keep on making lectures per day. I am saying it is. Just keep on watching and enhancing your knowledge. Thank you very much. Thank you.